boys and girls, students of Buddhist Sunday School and Dharma classes, all youth members, parents and grandparents, and teachers of Buddhist Sunday School and Dharma classes. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful. We're going to have a presentation titled Live Lessons from Powerful Pics. That means powerful pictures, very inspiring pictures. And we are going to learn very important Dharma or life lessons. Now, the presentation is done in English. All the narration with explanation is in English, but the texts are in English as well as Chinese. The Chinese is done using Google Translate. Now, as usual, we are going to have a presentation. We are going to go over all the very inspiring pictures, images, and then comment on the live lessons we can learn from looking at the pictures and reflecting. So this is a very important presentation done in a very pictorial way. So as usual, we will launch the PowerPoint, right? And it's from the beginning. Now you see the cover slide that has 8 pictures. But these are not the 8 pictures we are doing. They have very beautiful messages. Now, I'm not going over the 8 pictures on the cover slide. You can look at them and reflect on what is being written later on your own when this is posted on the YouTube and some other websites like SlideShare and Script. So you find this is quite interesting. I find the pictures very good. So now we are going to start. Before that, let me take out the video. Okay, now let us go on to slide number 2. This is slide number 2, and you know it's quite an interesting picture showing a brain which is wired. Now, actually, the important message is this: fix our wrong view, thinking, and attitude. Then we can reach life's greatest altitude. Altitude would be the height, right? So if you want to have great achievements in life, or you want to maybe become a saint, or even an arahant, enlightened, very important is the mind, right? As in Dhammapada, it says, mind is the forerunner of all things. And in the Noble Eightfold Path, the first factor is right view. So we must have right view. And also our thoughts must be right thought, right? Good thinking, good thoughts. And our attitude, right? The way we see things, our opinions, concepts, all must be good, wholesome ones. So I put a comment here. With right view, we can refrain from unwholesome actions in the mind, speech, and body. That is very important, right view, to really see things as they are, right? And in fact, the most important aspect is to understand the Four Noble Truths. And when we have that right view, we won't do the evil actions using the mind, speech, or body. There are 10 of them which I have done before. Things like no greed, no hatred, no delusion, no lying, and then also no slander, no harsh speech, and then no gossip. And then, of course, using the body, no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct. Now, I have so many other slides, so I cannot go into details, which I have done before. Now, let us go on to slide number 3. Now, you can see that the pictures or the animated image has a bearing with the message. I try to get as close as possible, right? So sometimes it's quite difficult to get a relevant image. Now here you see this person, right? He doesn't have good thoughts. So he's thinking of all the funny things, and sometimes also cannot sleep because the mind is filled with wrong view, wrong thought, right? And he has a wrong attitude. So a lot of unnecessary, useless, and sometimes even bad intentions. So this is the important thing. And you see that the brain and the mind are connected. So here in Dhamma terms, we are more concerned with the mind. Now let us go on to the next one, which is slide number 3. Now, the message is this: without diligence, there's no success, let alone being the very best. Now, everybody wants success, isn't it? Right? Success in many things and should be wholesome things, because if you want to be successful as a terrorist, that is unwholesome and it will bring much suffering. So here we are talking about success in a good way. Like, for example, being successful in bringing up our family happily, or being successful in our Dhamma practice, right? Or being successful in a good, worthy career. So these are the good things when we talk about success. But so in order to have this thing, one very important factor is diligence, being hardworking. So if you are not putting in the effort and you are not hardworking, you cannot achieve success. Great people have talked about this many times. And even in the Dhamma practice, it's stated that diligence is one of the most important factors in order to attain our goals in Buddhism, right? In order to attain great spiritual heights. So some people think that in order to be successful, we must have luck, but nothing ever happens by chance. So some go and pray in temples, right, in places of worship, right? Funny places also, they go and pray, even at the graveyard, to ask for empat ekor and all those things. Now, all these are wrong practices. It's not your luck, it's your good karma and the hard work you put in. So this picture of the ants, ants are very busy creatures, and they are usually associated with hard work. Of course, you have as busy as a bee, but here you also can say as busy as an ant. So if you want to have success, or you want to be the very best, right? The very best in terms of Dhamma practice, then you must work hard, right? So don't have to just talk about being the very best. Just getting the goal or have a good degree of success, you still need hard work, right? So that is this very important message. Okay, so this is number 3. I quite like this picture of the ants, 4 ants, and you see to show how hardworking they are to make a bridge. So this animated image shows, right, this particular lady very hardworking in her work. So you see she will achieve success. And if she's hardworking in her work, in the company, she will be well liked by the boss and also get promotion and so on. Who likes a lazy person? Isn't it? If you are lazy, you can't attain the goal. You can't be successful. So that is the message. Be hardworking, be industrious, be diligent. So that is this important message. Now let us go on to slide number 4. Now, slide number 4 talks about the importance of reading. Actually, I have emphasized this very important thing about reading. Now, let us read the poster message first. Reading enhances you and your ability. It changes you and your personality. Now that is very true, isn't it? A person who does not read, right? He will become like a what in Malay, there's a Malay proverb that says, seperti katak di bawah tempurung. He is very ignorant of many things, right? And he is sometimes like a fool, right? He doesn't know the important things, the knowledge of the world, as well as knowledge of spirituality, of a religion, of the religion that he practices. So, reading enhances you. Enhances you means it develops your personality, all right? And then it makes you a person of better qualities, all right? Here we are talking about positive things. We don't read the things that make you into a terrorist, into an evil person, into a greedy, hateful person. Here we are talking of good reading, right? Good reading. And of course, you can learn many things from reading. So it improves your ability to be able to do so many things. Now you find many Westerners are very good in the DIY, do it yourself. And they learn it from reading books. And now, of course, you have the uh, YouTube, you have Google, so they still have to read, isn't it? Or listen, you see? So that is a very important thing. Right from young, you must develop the habit of reading. And then it changes your personality, especially when you read great motivational, inspirational, good religious books, then your character changes, you see, right? When you reflect. So you see how important. I don't have to list all the benefits of reading. Now, this particular Dr. Sales said that the more that you read, the more things you will know, naturally, isn't it? And the more that you learn, the more places you go. More places just doesn't mean traveling. Yeah, lah, you can travel to the places you read about, but then more places you can go with, which means that you can progress in many areas. Right? Because you know so many things, you know how to do those things. So that is this very important message. Now, of course, here you see the animated image of this student who is so engrossed in the reading and she is enriching her mind. And that is a very important thing, isn't it? Now, this image is quite interesting in the sense that you see, it's actually showing like a prisoner, You're supposed to have, the clothing of a prisoner, a convict. So the message is, if you are able to read and practice the good things there as taught in the writings, you can break free, these are suggest breaking free from all the things that make you suffer, isn't it? To break free. That means your mind expands in a positive way and you know what should be done, what should not be done. Your wisdom grows. So you are breaking free. Your mind becomes wiser, right? So that is this a very unusual picture, you see. It's breaking free from the chains also through the reading. So it's not meaning that this player is trying to escape from prison. It's not like that. It's just an analogy. Now let us go on to slide number 5. Now, slide number 5 is a very important thing also if we want to have success in our life. Now, I put in this quotation, or rather this writing in a couplet form, but let us look at what is being written for the poster or for the motivational picture. Ideas without action cannot propel you forward. Propel means to drive you, to push you, right? To make you go ahead. That's the meaning. Some people have a lot of ideas, right? Oh, you should do this. No, there's this very good thing, that can make you like this, like that. All talk, 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 and just some ideas, some good, some not so good. But the important thing is, do you try out the ideas? Do you put those ideas into action? Like, for example, carrying out a project once you have idea, an idea. Let's say, right? You say, oh, I have these very good ideas. No, we can write a book, like Harry Potter. No, maybe better than Harry Potter. All right, or some other very famous books. So you see, I can talk about this. I can write about this. You talk, talk, talk for years, but you don't even sit down and write the thing. Isn't it? No action taken. Right? Just in a way, fantasy, imagining things only. Ideas are good, yes. Without ideas, you can't really plan and then carry out certain projects, right? That will drive you towards a goal. But the important thing is to implement, to put your ideas into action. So you look at the work of great scientists, great inventors, they have ideas, right? To invent something, like to invent the electric bulb, like by Thomas Edison. So he had those ideas, and then he did the experiments, even though he failed hundreds of times, but he carried on, maybe modifying the idea, the plan, and so on. So very patient, so very diligent, full of perseverance, until finally succeeded in inventing the electric bulb. So this picture is interesting in the sense that these people are having difficulties going to land. Each of them maybe has some umbrellas, right? And the rain comes. So they just use the umbrella to shield the rain, and then don't put into action an idea. This person is different, right? You see, he's so innovative. He goes into action to be able to sail away, right? By standing on the floating umbrella and then another umbrella to shield himself from the rain. Now, this is just a picture, but it's quite interesting in the sense that it is very motivating, right? So remember that. So I put the comment here as, how can you achieve anything if you just sit and do nothing? What it means is if you just idle, right? Idle. You remember the problem I mentioned? An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So the person idling away, sitting, maybe potato couch, watching the TV day in, day out. You say, I can do this. No, I can write a book. I can actually run the 100 meters in less than 100, less than 10 seconds, things like that. All the ideas there, right? I can do this, I can do that. But do you take the action? Do you get up from your seat or from your lounge set or from your bed? So you can't achieve anything if you are not active and put things into action. So that's why I put, how can you achieve anything if you just sit and do nothing? Sit means to idle. It could be lying on the bed, right? Or it could be just sitting, thinking, fantasizing, imagining, but no action. This person even worse, right? You find animated, probably is lying down and also watching a TV on the wall and then eating all the junk food, potato chips, so much a day. So that is not a good thing. So this tells us a very important message. So now let us go on to number 6 already. All right. So I hope you get the message. All right. All these things that we discuss are based on I put powerful pictures, powerful pics. The PICS means pictures. And from there, we can do the reflection on the live lessons we can learn. There are a lot of Dharma teachings also. Right. Now let us go on to number 6. This also is another very important message. And it actually shows what is happening today among many people. Right? Now, you see, you look at this particular image, a motivating picture, in fact. I got these pictures from the internet through the search. And then after that, I put certain messages and did the translation, search for some animated cartoons to make the slides more interesting. So you look at these three categories of people. The first one, right? It all involves playing basketball, let's say, right? This first boy, or you can even say a teenager, right? He reflects this attitude. Some people want it to happen, right? He say, I want to be able to be the champion in my country as far as basketball is concerned, right? All right. And this person, he always imagines things, fantasizes. That means he has a lot of fantasy. Right? I wish I were like this famous basketballer, Michael Jordan, world champion. I wish I can achieve success. So you see, these two people are not taking actions. Right? Whereas Michael Jordan, who actually is one of the greatest basketballers, right? He makes it happen, right? He makes it happen. So in order to make that thing happen, let's say you have a goal to be a great basketballer. So in order to achieve your goal, you can't just sit down there and just imagine things, daydream, fantasizing, right? So the years will pass and you achieve nothing. And this is not only in sport, right? It's in all areas. Let's say, oh, I want to be like the Buddha. I want to be an Arahant. Well, what have we been doing in the wise, proper ways? Right? Do you just sit down and then thinking about this and that, but you don't practice? It's useless. Some are like professors, they read book after book, and I wish I were this, I wish I were that, just like what the book says, but you're doing nothing. You don't make that thing happen. So to make that thing happen, you have to practice. You have to put in the effort diligently, mindfully, ardently. Correct? So if I applies in all areas, just as for example, if you are a student, so I wish I have all A's, and then people will look up to me. I wish I would get a gold medal for being the best student in the country. A lot of fantasies. But do you take steps to make this happen? Do you study hard? Do you study in wise ways? Have a timetable? Know the techniques of studying and all those? Do you do all those things? Just dreaming, daydreaming, fantasizing. So you see, this is a very important message. Like these three people, right? You see, even though the picture shows fat people, but they train, isn't it? They put in the effort. They put in the effort, running and practicing, you see. And then, of course, they will lose weight, and eventually they may even become very successful as runners or marathon runners, you see. This is a quite interesting image. So I put in this couplet. Things you want or desire just don't come from nothing. Some will pray, pray to the God. I wish I could become the champion in this marathon race. I wish I could get all A's. But do you put in enough wise, constant effort? So the saying, God helps those who help themselves, isn't it? So in order to have the things you want or desire, don't think that they come from something or from nothing or from praying. No, you have to put in constant effort to have results happening. You have that strong motivation, you put in the effort, right? Then you have the positive things happening. Wow, you are scoring high marks because you have done great work, very diligent, and also in the right way. Some people are hardworking, but unfortunately, they don't use the right way. So it's important you have to know, have to learn what are the right ways of studying. what are the right ways or wise ways. Lots of books and on the internet, they will teach you, or you can find a teacher who can help you. I've also done presentation on this, you see. So you know the right ways and you put in the effort. Some know the ways but never carry out, then it's useless also. You must have constant effort. Some only practice for one day. You find these three people, if they will just practice one day, only one day, and then rest for months, they will never improve. It must be constant effort. Then results will happen. We say they want to lose weight, then constant effort, they will lose weight, and then they can improve. So you see, this is a very motivating image. I quite like this one. This person is the one that is proactive. He makes things happen by putting in the effort and taking the necessary steps. All right, and he will seek for advice to get the right methods. So that is very important. Now let us go on to slide number 7. Now this is a very important Dharma message actually. All right. So the picture is very, very interesting, Now you look at this picture carefully. You see this person lying against a big bag, and that big bag has sand inside. It serves like a cushion, right? They call it a bean bag or something like that, right? So you see, wow, so relaxing, everything, right? And he spends a lot of time just daydreaming, sleeping, relaxing. Very comfortable because the bag now is full of sand. But he doesn't realize that this bag has a lot of holes. So with a lot of holes, the sand keeps coming out, isn't it? So the bag now will get smaller, lighter, and not so firm already. So in time to come, the bag collapses because you have no more sand or very little sand. And this person not comfortable, he will fall down already, right? So this is very important. This bag of sand with the holes represents the time that is passing. Time will pass on and on in one direction. The time that is lost cannot be got back already, right? So it's irreversible. You lose time, that's it. You can't get it back. You lose money, you can still earn the money back, right? You lose some possessions and so on, you can earn and then buy back those things, you see, but not time. The trouble is, many people think that they have time. Oh, wait lah, as well for Dharma practice, they say, oh, I'm still young. I don't have to go and do Dharma practice to learn the Dharma, to learn meditation because I'm still young. I'm only 20 over. Wait till I become old lah. Maybe after I get pension, then only I start learning Dharma. But don't forget that not only old people die, there are some young ones also who die anytime. That is certain. Life is uncertain. That is certain. We don't know, isn't it? Some even children die also. Nobody knows. It depends on one very important factor, your karma. So if you think like that, then one day you suddenly get struck by a very serious illness like cancer and so on. Then you say, I'm only 30 over 40. I've not learned any important things of life, of like Dharma, that prepares me for my rebirth and so on. So then you regret. So this is very important message. So when this Mr. Death or the Prince of Death comes, this one represents the Prince of Death, a devil like that. I say, time to go. Time for you to die. In other words, some through accidents, through sicknesses, all sorts of reasons. People can die, isn't it? Being killed, being murdered also. So you cannot bargain. So when we reflect on this, you know what to do. That our life clock ticks away before it stops suddenly. So we must not waste our precious time, or we regret certainly. When you are older, they say, oh, you have not learned important things. You may have all the degrees, right? But then you have not learned important Dharma lessons or life messages that make you a better person, that makes you good in your character, and that makes you more happy, more peaceful, more wise. You have not learned all those things. So just all the knowledge academic without the Dharma becomes useless. You can't take all those things with you. What you take with you is actually your karma only, and also the Dharma that you have realized. Like, for example, you have seen very clearly the impermanence, all right, and important Dharma teachings. And this will carry on in your minds. So this is important message, very important message. Now let us go on to number 8 now. Now, it's very interesting, you see, this person wants to attain success. It's like climbing up a very high staircase, or maybe you can say like a ladder, or, this one shows it very clearly, right? So the success is at the end of, after many, many steps upwards. Like you remember, you have climbed the steps, 200 over steps, I think, in Batu Caves. Then you reach the area, the caves, the beautiful things, but you have to take the first step to climb. So the starting is difficult. But then when you reach the place, wow, worth it, lah. I have taken the trouble, I have put in the effort, and diligently, patiently, I climb up. Then you see beautiful scenery, you learn so many things. So the first step is always the hardest. You want to start on any project, starting is a challenge. You have to start. You don't say, wait, I postpone. You never do it. And then also initially, you will face some obstacles, right? Some, hardship lah, because you're not used yet. But then you persevere on. You have the determination. You have the patience. So you persist on, right? So in other words, you want to have worthy success on important things, you have to take the first step. And then initially, you might have some hardship, right? You can say some suffering. But at the end, when you get the goal, there is fantastic reward. Right? So, I think I listened to the Dharma talks, the monks have said, right, wise people take the first step. Initially, wow, like dukkha like that, right? So starting the time, right, not sweet, bitter. But at the end, wow, you get the sweetness. But many people, they want to always have sweet things only. Then after that, one day, when you cannot get the sweetness anymore, you get the suffering. So the important thing is initially not sweet, but finally sweet, right? Rather than starting sweet, after that, you find the suffering. Which one you want to choose? So you see, wise ones take the first hard step. Initial step, difficult, right? You have to read up how to do it, and then put in the effort, try on and on. Initially, it's the difficult thing. Wise ones, however, will take the first hard step. Why? Because they have in their mind the goal. Just like a person wants to win the Olympic gold in, let us say, 100-meter race or 400 meters and so on. So he has to take the first step and begin the training. Then he trains on and on, becomes better and better, and finally gets the goal. So starting difficult, but then in the end, he gets the reward of the gold medal in the Olympics and so on. Right? So two important qualities, diligence and persistence, to go on and not to give up, will be the eventual handsome rewards. So you see, like this person, today is a great day to take a first step, right? Is doing it now, today. Don't postpone, because you don't know whether there will be time. You want to postpone until you are 30 or 40. You don't know whether you can live to that day. And also, you don't know what can happen in between. Suddenly, you are not being superstitious. We have to face the fact. Suddenly, you get an accident and you find, oh, my legs are already cacat. So you cannot do what you intend. So start when you can, right? Do not wait. So that is slide number 8. Now, let us go on to slide. I think you understand the meaning. I've also put in the Chinese translation, and the picture helps you to understand. So everything, actually, I started this presentation when I saw some very motivational pictures on the internet. Then I was thinking, why not I do this project? So I went over hundreds of the pictures and picked In this case here, I picked 12. Right? I picked 12. And then after that, started the project. You have a goal, right? So you have to take the first step. The first step is very difficult. I have to search, have to think, plan, and so on. But eventually, when you have the presentation, you feel happy because you don't do that. I don't do that for money because I know this can benefit people. So you get the goal that is worthy. So you must have diligence and to persist. Sometimes you cannot get the image, right? So sometimes it'll take some time to search for the suitable images. So some may not be perfect, right? So that is persistence. Now let us go on to slide number 9 now. Now, slide number 9, you find the image actually starts off with the picture, right? Each of the slides starts off with the picture, which I searched, as I told you, and selected 12. But on the front title page, I put in another 8, which did not discuss. Maybe in the future, another presentation, because there's so many interesting pictures in the future, maybe I can do part 2, where you have another set of wonderful, powerful pictures that teach very good life lessons. I think that is more interesting, right? Now, this one, it says, success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently. Some people say, I want to learn meditation and practice meditation because, through meditation, my mind can become calm, can become strong, can become happy and peaceful, right? But, he does meditation once in a while only, right? He does for one day, rest for 2 weeks, then, so how are you going to achieve the success or to meet with the goal? Right? You have to do it consistently. Every time you have to do it on and on, practice on and on, right? Just like this person, to learn the thing or to improve the knowledge, he must be always reading, isn't it? Right? Always reading, so that the mind improves, as I told you, the benefits of reading, right? So you just, oh yeah, do you read? Yeah, I read one book a year, right? So how can you be successful in becoming a knowledgeable person? You are not a consistent reader. You quite lazy to read. This is just an example. So many things, including Dharma practice, if you are not consistent, you will not attain the goals. Like in Buddhism, we know the important practice is dana, sila, bhavana, which is doing charity, giving, and then observing all your moral precepts, and then bhavana, mind development, like listening or reading and reflecting on the Dharma and meditation. So you find some people, yeah, I do that. But he practices dana or charity once or 2 times a year during Vesak Day and maybe during the first birthday. That's all. It's not that it's not good, but you won't get the goal that you aim at. You have to always do that. And some say, do you observe precept? Yeah, I observe sometimes. So sometimes you do, and then many times you break the precepts, and you're going to face the consequences. And sometimes I kill. Sometimes I drink until I'm mabuk. That is not the proper thing. You got to be consistent observing your precepts. And then say, yeah, I meditate. But as I told you, there are some people they only meditate once a year during Vesak Day. So you find this is important. And Denzel Washington, one very famous Negro Hollywood star, I find that is very good. What he said, goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. So he talks about how to achieve goals, right? You want to achieve certain goals. Even ordinarily in your life, in your study, or maybe in your career, it applies also, you see. And he says, 2 qualities very important. Discipline and consistency. We are at this second important principle of consistent. Always doing it consistent, right? The other thing is discipline, yes. If you don't have the mental discipline, a very lambat, you call it, right? Right? You want to, do a project and you have a plan, everything, and somebody, phones you and say, come, let's go for shopping, let's go for tour and so on. So all your plans, you forget already. You don't have the mental discipline. Many people don't succeed in what they do, be it studying, be it in their work, or being raising a successful family, or even in Dharma practice. Why? Because they don't have discipline. To have that strong dressing, determination, discipline. So this is a very important Dharma message also. All right. And I just put in the animator one, like this person, he's disciplined in carrying out, and he always does the work regularly, consistently. Consistently. Now let us look at slide number 10 now. Number 10 is also a very important thing, and it also ties up many things that we have discussed just now. Now, let us say if you want to achieve success in a certain area, maybe in your study, you say that you want to uh, get outstanding results in your exam and so on, then you think about that. Why you want to do it? Oh, in that case, I later on can do a course in the university. Maybe I want to do medicine. I'm very interested. I can help people and so on. Oh, okay, good objectives. You have an idea. Then you say, how do you go about it? So you have to implement your plan and the idea, and you have to try, right? Study that thing. Likewise, also for a person who is carrying out a project, so once he has an idea and he has the plan, then he puts the plan into action. He tries it. He must do it. If you fail, one time, two times, three times, and so on, you must do it again. Maybe modify the plans and so on. Do it again and again and again, which means it comes to this point of persistence. Great motivators have said there is a golden thread that runs through the life of all successful, great inventors and successful people, and that one is persistence. As I gave you the example of Thomas Edison, who invented electric bulb. So that means he doesn't give up easily. He doesn't just quit. He keeps on doing until he gets the success. So this cycle is very important. First, you have a thought, you think, you have an idea, or maybe you have a goal, right? And you want to attain certain things, good things. And the most important is you become enlightened, like example, right? Then you will find out what are the ways, the ideas. Then you have to keep practicing it again and again and again, right? Consistent. Dharma also the same thing. You have to keep on doing it again and again. Dana, you keep on doing again and again. Meditation. And then finally you attain the goal. Right? You know what did the Buddha do? Right? He just not you try various methods and he kept on searching and practicing various ways until he found the way, and he sat under the Bodhi tree and said that he will not get up until he gets success. So he has been so hardworking and very inspiring in his life, right? Until he got enlightenment. That is the most important. But in your worldly life also, you have many things that you can apply this principle. So thinking, planning, and persistent doing are essential to have success coming. I try to pen all this in poetic lines, but once it gets translated into Chinese, you will lose all the rhyming and the rhythm of the couplets. But anyway, let's look at this thinking. You have to think of certain good ideas or certain goals, and then after that, you have to plan, isn't it? All right. After planning already, then you start doing. If you are not a doer, it's useless. And then you don't give up easily. So you must always have the determination, perseverance, and persistent. You must be persistent. Keep on doing it. So there is a very interesting saying that winners never quit. Quitters never win. They are winners. They are great people. They don't just quit. They keep on trying. And those that quit will never win. Very easily they give up. Cannot, they give up easily. All right. So this has a very good, important message. And in Dharma practice also, You're very hard on meditation. Your practice, observe, precept, very, very hard one. I cannot everything. Then they give up. And then they may go to another religion and say, I pray, 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 I can get this. That is not true. If everybody could get things so easily by just praying, then give up all the other things and just pray, isn't it? You have to do it. You have to practice. Okay. So now let us go on to number 11 now. You see, it is a very interesting picture that depicts the things that are happening in our world today. And it happens in our Buddhist association as well, right? And it happens in many organizations, societies. It divides people into three groups. One, the critic. That means people who always criticize things only, right? In fact, they belong to the category as what I label is people who always indulge in the 4 C's. They keep practicing the 4 C's. What are they? Criticizing, and then also complaining, always complain only. And then condemning, this is useless, this government do these policies, all these are all useless. And then curse, I wish they would drop dead. All these policies are terrible things, Criticizing without any constructive action. Complaining also never does anything to change the situation. And then worst thing, go and condemn people with full of anger and hatred. And likewise cursing people and so on. This is the worst category, and many of us belong to this category. You can see the long queue there, right? Just criticize only. Another person, cakap banyak one. Cakap banyak, talk a lot. I've seen that also in the association. Yeah, you all should do this. No, committee should do that. President must be like this. But then what about you? I was just thinking, what about you yourself? What do you do? You see? So usually I find a lot of people who criticize, condemn all this, and then they just talk, but they don't do anything. I normally ignore, I don't pay much attention. But there are people that criticize constructively, and then they try their best to help. This is good. So you find these two categories are the worst. The best is the doer. And you see how many? People who are proactive and who take steps, they are kind, they are helpful, they are Dharma-based. That's why the Buddha said, two categories of people very hard to find. One, the kind doers. That means people who are kind and are very spontaneously willing to help. You don't even have to ask. They are very, very kind, helpful people. Difficult to find. And the second one, people who are grateful. It's true. I've experienced this. You have all those people you don't expect, they show gratitude. Some may even stab you at the back, You read about this, you find in politics also like that, So the Buddha, fantastic wisdom, like to see this. So when we realize this, we don't get angry or what. We say that's the way things are. I wouldn't want to be like that because that's generating bad karma, right? So this is the best category, the doer. So now let's look at what I wrote also in couplet form. People shun the armchair critic undoubtedly. Armchair, you just sit on the chair, criticize, complain, curse, condemn, but not doing anything to bring about changes or to help. So you think these people are liked by people? People in fact try to avoid them because they always criticize, very negative, creates a whole atmosphere of negativity. So definitely you are not well liked and so on. I don't think these people will be successful, you see. But to criticize and then take steps to make things better, that's different. No? That's what we call constructive criticism. But some people just criticize empty criticism but doing nothing. And this type of people, normally I also just listen. I don't get angry. I say, well, that's the way it is. The long queue of people who are this armchair critics, just criticize. The best one is the proactive. They are very, very proactive. They take action, right? In a very good, positive ways. And they are very kind. This is an important word. Very kind doers. They don't expect anything. Some people ada udang di sebalik batu, right? And they want to attain certain thing, maybe get a dato title lah, or maybe get some money lah, can cheat you money. All those are not the doers I'm talking about. These are positive doers. So this one will be highly regarded, respected, and praiseworthy. This one is cakap banyak one. This type is the proactive and kind, right? And very diligent, that type one. Okay, so now let us go on to slide number 12 now. This talks about working, right? So you have two categories of people, right? One, the working smart, right? The other one hustling, that means, you just carry on very hard way, but sometimes lacking in wisdom, right? Right, so also not, because he doesn't think out clearly what are better ways, just hustle along, that type of thing, right? So hustling until wow, very susah already. And then you have the third type, give up very easily one. Hey, cannot one, cannot one. But it doesn't realize, for example. So this is a very meaningful picture, right? So there are three types of person, right? So of course you have to find out about the things, right? The knowledge. So this person say, oh, I heard that there is gold or there are precious stones and so on. So he doesn't know of wise ways, better ways, just put in just blunt force and effort without much wisdom, right? So it's very difficult to attain success. And the other person, he goes on, but he gives up too soon. It's actually getting the goal already now. The other one that works hard and smart. That is the best lah. Like this lady, so she already found out with the knowledge, so how to get at the precious stones, right? So she works hard, yes, but she knows of the ways. So she said, oh, one way is I go and hire a tractor and then dig this way. So this is a category, right? So in your worldly life as a student, you have to work hard, yes, but you must also work smart, like good study methods and study techniques, because I've taught so many students that are very, very hardworking, but don't get the results because they are not studying in a smart way, like not understanding, just sheer memorizing. So that will not give you the success. So likewise also in a project, you must find the ways which are smart to ensure that you get the success. So that is a very important thing for you to consider. So I have put this couplet, working diligently in a smart way is very praiseworthy. Needless to say, means undoubtedly that if a person he's very hardworking, also he works in smart ways, right? So it's just like Dharma practice, right? You want to have a goal, and the goal is to make spiritual progress. Maybe you want to become a saint, the first stage, then you must work in the proper wise way. You have to go and learn the proper ways, listen to the true Dharma, and then meet up with people who are wise, cultivated monks. So make sure that you learn from the proper way. That means that's being smart. And then you have to put into practice. If you just go and listen, and you don't practice, it's useless. Whereas some other people, they want, I want to be a saint, I want to be like Buddha, everything. And then they work hard, but foolish ways, wrong ways, not smart ways. Or they every day go and pray, pray to this angkong, pray to that angkong, everything. But the character doesn't change. Always getting angry, selfish. So no matter how much you pray, you will not attain the goal. Right? In fact, you might be getting negative things. Like for example, right, they are deluded, doing things and say, oh, if I slaughter these animals and offer to the gods, they will be very happy. That is foolish. That is delusion, not smart, not wise. So not only do you not get the goal, but you are reaping bad karma through killing. That's what I mean. So one is very, very important if you consider these things. So you see that this is a very, very meaningful picture. This is what I call powerful picture. And of course, this I put in the animated. This lady, she is very diligent, right? A project, right? She is very hardworking at the project. But not only that, she will research. Then she will check the internet, find out the proper things. And now you have AI also, isn't it? You can also ask the questions on AI and then study, reflect, and so on, and then decide on certain ways in order to carry out the project. And you are more likely to achieve success because you have those two qualities: diligent work, smart ways. So, very important, isn't it? Of course, I have no time to tell you what are the smart ways for studying. I think I did a presentation once or so on good studying techniques and so on. Anyway, for those students, if you wish to learn more and you wish to contact me, no problem. I'm on Facebook. You can also contact me through the WhatsApp. Right? First, of course, you send me maybe Facebook message if you're on Facebook, or if you can contact me with a WhatsApp message, you can do that. And you can arrange for a time and a date where you want to ask certain questions, and I'll be most happy to help wherever I can. And that's what some students do, right? I will make time for those people who are sincere and wanting to learn and improve, particularly on the Dhamma, right? But anyway, if those students want to know about study techniques and all those things, you're most welcome. Okay, let us now move on to number 13 now. This is 13. 13, let's look at the picture first. The image. The image you see, there's somebody maybe, getting out of a situation or exit, right? Exit. And it seems maybe like digging a hole or whatever, or no, not necessarily that. He wants to, let's say, you can also say this is a wall, and he wants to go over and he falls, right? Failure. So you find that the quotation is good. Look on every exit as being entrance for something else. So sometimes in life, you come across a situation that brings some hardship or suffering. So it's what we call a door to some suffering. But for every door that leads you to some hardship and trouble, there's another door that opens that leads you to success, that leads you to good things, that leads you to good fruits. So we must bear in mind that you cannot say, oh, I'm a failure. No. And somebody once said, failure is not failure. Failure is failure to get up and try again after you fail. Just like a person learning to ride a bicycle. He falls down, he gets up, he tries again until finally, wow, even the child can ride the bicycle. That's our attitude. So you see, I put there, failures, not failure. I mean, failure is not failure. There'll be a door to success. Of course, you look in the history of scientists and inventors. So many have tried so many times and failed until finally they found the doors to success. The Buddha also was like that, isn't it? In his earlier life, he practiced asceticism, tortured the body, and then very, very hard life, even with the clothes and the food, taking so very little food. So he tried all these, failed to get enlightened. Did he give up? No. He reflected on and then changed the ways until finally he found the middle way, right? And I think I posted the whole live, I think 5 presentations or 6 or something like that. Many hours. You can check back Life of the Buddha Inspiration. So remember that if you fail, you do not succeed at the first time, do not give up. There is one very interesting thing that says winners never quit. They keep on trying their best. The very important thing is you don't just quit and give up easily. Actually, we talked about that just now. Remember, to be persistent, persevere on, diligent, patiently. All those key words. As I said before, winners never quit. Quitters never win. If you quit so easily, you never win. And if you're a winner, you don't quit. So this is a very important thing. This is a very interesting animated. He falls down, but he still keeps on trying. And then it goes down, and then maybe at the the base there, you might find another door that leads to success. Anyway, you can interpret in any way lah. It's just that do not just be discouraged by failing at certain times. Everybody will fail. There is no success without failure, isn't it? Look at you mean to say that all the things that you do, all the things that you try, always 100% successful? Sometimes we don't get what we want, or sometimes the things do not turn out. That is a fact of life. But the important thing is our attitude towards these things. And once you have wisdom, you say, well, so many factors possible. Karma is one of them. Maybe I'm not used enough mindfulness, concentration, so many things. So remember this. This one is quite interesting. This person, he fails. One day he gets the door that leads on to fantastic success. Just as this fella, he drops down everything, but actually he's found a door that leads him to all the treasures. This represents the treasures, the success. In this case here, precious stones. So there's always the opportunity, right? The door will open to success. Opportunity waits the person who keeps on trying. So that is an important aspect. Now let us go on to the end already, which is slide number 14. So there are two lines I put in the form of couplets. I think you know one of my favorite things is to write couplets. They are very poetic things, which means that the sentences have rhyming, and then the number of syllables is the same. So when you read it and you count the syllables, you find the two lines have the same number of syllables. So I like to compose this sort of thing. So you see, this particular ending couplets that I put, we can learn much from mindful noting. It talks about mindfulness. That means you are aware of the things that are happening. You note them. You know what is happening. Like this person taking a walk mindfully, right? The leaves are falling, of different types, and the ground, everything. The person is mindful. So he knows, right? He knows the mind is alert. He's mindful. He's very awake in a way, not full awakening. Full awakening will be Buddha, you see. So, and then the other point, after noting all these things, and then he sits down, he doesn't think all those nonsense things. He reflects, he reflects, he ponders, he contemplates on what he or she has noted mindfully in their life. So many things you can reflect on, isn't it? But some people like to have discursive thinking, all the sums, you're thinking all this, you don't grow in the wisdom. So with mindfulness, concentration, being very aware, paying attention to what is happening within your body, environment, and what is happening in your mind, and then after that you reflect on what you experience, you think, and then you have a Dhamma base, then the wisdom comes. Wisdom is not just by praying or just reading books. So this is one very important aspect. So like this person is doing reflecting. Reflecting at a level is there will be thinking involved, right? So I hope I have conveyed important life lessons and Dharma messages and teachings through this presentation titled Life Lessons, or you can say Dharma Lessons from Powerful Pics. Right? Very meaningful pictures, right? So before we say sadhu 3 times, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all you students, boys and girls, youth members, and also the parents, grandparents, and the teachers of Buddhist Sunday School, Dharma classes, for taking time to follow this more than an hour presentation and putting in your effort and energy to follow this with mindfulness and concentration. So I say thank you and sadhu to all of you. So now let us put our palms together and say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To all who have been following this presentation, all right, once again, thank you and sadhu. May you all be well, happy, peaceful, and healthy, and do Remember to constantly practice the Dharma. All right, take care.